Hello readers. It's November 30th, the last day of NaNoWriMo. Across the world, thousands of writers are frantically trying to finish up their 50,000 words. So to commemorate the final day of National Novel Writing Month, I am here to offer you a NaNoWriMo success story. This isn't a favorite books review, but it is a book that was written during NaNoWriMo. So today I'm going to be reviewing Last Places by Matt Guillen. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's weird. Okay, yes, I am reviewing my own book. Yes, I am that narcissistic. But a lot of you have been asking about my NaNoWriMo novel, and I'm not quite ready to talk about the one that I wrote this year, because it still sucks. But I will talk about the one that I wrote last year. Actually, my progression of NaNoWriMo novels has been kind of interesting. This is my third year doing NaNoWriMo. My first year, I hit 50,000 words, but didn't actually finish the story. And this year, I finished the story well before I hit 50,000 words and had to tack on another story in order to get to that point. But the second NaNoWriMo I did was by far the most successful. I reached 50,000 words, and I finished the story, and I did the whole CreateSpace publishing thing. Now, some of you may have already seen Book 5204's review of this book, but now I'm going to talk about it a little bit, being the guy that wrote it. Last Places is a story about a girl named Peggy DeWitt. There always seems to be this one person who kind of transcends the boundaries of the cliques in high school, and Peggy DeWitt was that girl. She was everyone's best friend, and yet despite that, she still had her own little circle of friends that she brought in and kind of protected. You know, they were kind of these underprivileged dorks that she brought in and felt sorry for and protected and became really good friends with. At this point of the review, you may have noticed that I've been referring to her in the past tense. That's because by the time our story starts, Peggy DeWitt is dead, and has been for a year. So this story actually follows that group of friends that I mentioned earlier. Dave Hardwin, her best friend and on-again, off-again boyfriend, has gathered the old group together and decided to commemorate the one-year anniversary of her death by visiting the last places they all remembered seeing Peggy. So one friend last remembered seeing her at the church, so they go to the church. One friend last remembered seeing her at a bookstore, they go to a bookstore. Now, there's a lot going on with this story. There are a lot of issues that are discussed and just a whole lot of stuff to get through. First of all, there are eight people, I think, yeah. First of all, there are 8 people in this group of friends, and they each have their own sort of issues to deal with. Each of the 8 friends has dealt with Peggy's death in their own way. And with this part, I tried to look at different ways in which people actually do deal with the death of a loved one. Some people deal with it rather well, but they give up something. One person gives up on his plans to go to college, one person gives up on her artwork. And then of course you've got the heavier reactions. Somebody loses her faith, somebody becomes suicidal. But each of them have their own demons that they have to deal with and they have to confront. And they do this by going back to the last place they remembered seeing Peggy, by remembering who she was to them in her life, and by confronting the fact that she is no longer with them. One of the interesting things about this novel is that we never actually meet the main character. The story revolves around Peggy DeWitt, and yet, by the time the story starts, she's dead, so we never actually see the true Peggy. We see everybody else's perception of her. We see flashbacks to her in life, and we see how everybody viewed her, both positive and negative, but we never actually see her. And so we see Peggy the artist, we see Peggy the avid reader, we see Peggy the tutor, we see Peggy the best friend, we see Peggy the girlfriend, and we even see Peggy the bunny soup crazy psycho bitch. And we're left with the sense that there's no way we can ever figure her out. We can never actually meet the real Peggy now. But we still have our memories of this person, and that ultimately is what we have to live with. I will say that this book is probably not for everyone. There are some pretty heavy moments. I mean, it is a story about death. But some of the chapters get really heavy and really angsty. But at the same time, there are plenty of lighthearted comedic moments too. So if this is the sort of thing that you might be interested in reading, I know that some people have expressed an interest, then you can follow the link in the doobly-doo and actually buy a copy of this novel. Last I checked, the page had the price listed as $14.95, and I know that's kind of expensive, but I have changed the price. It's just taking a while to register. So if you don't want to spend that much money, the book will eventually cost $9.99. When that will be, I don't know. You'll have to take it up with CreateSpace, but hopefully that will be a little bit more of a palatable price for some of you. So that is my review of my most successful NaNoWriMo novel. If you want a slightly more objective and unbiased review, then you can watch Book 5204's review of the book here. At this point, as far as I know, she's the only other person to have read the novel, so, you know, have at it. And finally, to all of you people who are still participating in NaNoWriMo and are frantically trying to get 50,000 words in by the end of the day, what are you doing watching this video, man? Come on, keep writing! Stop watching the video and